Welcome to another reading of The Pillars of the Governed Mind. I'm Shamel Olwago. You can call me Shem. And today I'm reading from Chapter 1, Education. The missed path isn't gone. So I'll begin. There may be things you once felt drawn to, creating, building, growing, exploring, learning in your own way, that at some point were set aside. Not lost, just paused. Education was never meant to stop. It continues through what you choose to explore, what you choose to practice and give your attention to. You can begin to ask simple questions. What do I naturally enjoy learning about? How do I learn best when no one is telling me how? What feels easy for me to engage with? What holds my attention without force? This is where your natural way of learning begins to show itself again. The loop of energy and choice. If a system were truly designed for the wholeness of the individual, it would also support them in recognizing how much of their energy to give and when to step back. In practice, many people begin to notice something else. There are moments where something no longer feels aligned, and as they begin to pull their energy back to question, pause, and move differently, they may be met with resistance, internally and or externally. Not always loud, but in ways that feel like pressure to continue, consequence for stepping away, sense that they should return to what is expected. And this was a big thing for me. I was always an overachiever at school. I was always considered teacher's pet. I used to be extremely good with coursework, comprehension, all of those things, but I never felt that the school was in line with my true way of learning. I was a true masker and adapter. I did deal with a lot of neurodivergence at the time, but because I was such a good masker, I flew under the radar. And because I was well spoken and my intellect of communication seemed to be so high, a lot of the time I had excuses made for me, and I had there was some flexibility in what was allowed for me or expected for me through a lot of teachers, and for no thought of their own. They all did their best. I've had some brilliant teachers over the years, as I've had some not so brilliant teachers, but the second that I decided I was going to pull away in some way, or that this wasn't a fit for me, I found that I was living in an interface that didn't adapt for that option. It was met with a lot of resistance. It was met with punitive resistance, whether that be from friends, family, definitely family. I didn't come from a culture where people felt like not having a formal form of education was even an option, especially for me. And that people in society who do well have a higher formal education. I saw another way, but that way was not shared with a lot of my peers. And I was surrounded by very highly functional people who went on to do masters and had many degrees, PhDs, all of that. It was just never aligned for me and my skills and the way I learned and the way I flowed through and the way I obtained my knowledge. And the questioning alone was met with a high sense of resistance. So I'll continue. This can create an internal tension. I'm saying this, and it's not just internal, it's very much external. If your family or your culture or your community does not approve of this questioning or this, what is often interpreted as rebellion, it can cause a lot of disruption in your daily life, in your waking life, in your dream state. So I'll continue again. This can create an internal tension where your own sense of direction is guiding you one way, but the structure around you is guiding you another. This is not a failure on your part. It is a point where your own direction and the structure around you are no longer fully aligned. And from that place, you can begin to choose more consciously how you engage, where you give your energy, and what you continue to move towards. You were never limited in your ability to learn. Nobody is. Only in the way it was presented to you. Until next time.